So what's up, you guys? So this is the first video that I'm using or that I'm shooting with the GoPro. So I hope everybody likes it. I am gonna watch this video just to make sure that everything's good, the angles are good, so y'all can see my hands are free. No longer have to hold my phone. There are some things I want to go over, and yes, I know if y'all can see there's a bunch of ants on my Yukon because of the tree I'm under, so I may have to move it because that does kind of get on my nerves. I was gonna say bug me, but there's not a reason for a pun like that. So anyway, I did want to mention that I apologize in advance. I misspoke when I told y'all about the strap that I have for my GoPro. So it is not a chest mount, it is a head mount, which is where I have y'all right now, hence why y'all can see my hands. So I wanted to apologize for that. I didn't want people to assume that that's what y'all are going to get if y'all get the same thing I got. And I do want to say this doesn't really matter, or doesn't really have any weight, it's not a big deal. But I did go and look to see what all it takes for me to become a monetized channel. So I have to have at least 1,000 subscribers, which I don't have anything nowhere near that yet. And then I also have to have, I think it's over 500 hours or a certain amount of hours within a year of view time, or I have to have 59 shorts views within 90 days. So I've got one of those. I've got the first part, the views done. That part's good. I just don't have the subscriber base. So if anybody's wondering on how to do that and how that works with YouTube, there you go. Because I'm gonna start uploading my videos with the computer, and that's one way that I look to see what the criteria is to be a monetized channel. Because I figure any little bit of money helps, no matter where I can get it from. So anyway, nothing really has changed with the Yukon. I put the stock torsion keys back in it, yeah, it's still the same. I did put it on Facebook to try to get rid of it, not to actually get rid of it, just as a, let's see what people would offer me, let's see how serious people are about it. And right now, as of right now, this is the second time I've put it on Facebook, and I have it on Marketplace, plus I think 3 or 4 actual Facebook pages that are for selling vehicles specifically. It's got over 1,000 views, the post does, on Marketplace. I know it's got over 20 different saves, maybe a little bit more than that. It's got, I think, 5 or 6, maybe 10 shares. So it's getting popularity. I don't have the car on Facebook because nobody's gonna want it, so a guy from work might buy it from me, but I don't know that for sure yet. And I did do something. I have one guy that's supposedly interested in the Yukon, but we'll see. And I'm done with working on the car. The check engine light came back after I swapped injectors, so I'm just done fucking with it. Whatever happens, I'll just keep driving it, and then when I get rid of it, I just, if I trade it in, I'm not gonna say shit about it. If I don't, and I sell it to a person, like I sell it to a guy I work with, obviously he knows about it already. So anyways, with that being said, there's nothing else that's going to change. If I keep the Yukon, nobody wants to pay what I want for it, I'll obviously keep it, and then I'll go from there. But anyway, I took the time to put all of my videos in playlists. So there's a playlist for the Yukon, there's a playlist for the Crown Vic, there's a playlist for my 06 Tahoe, which I have a story about that I'll tell in a minute. And then there's also a playlist for the Ram, and there's a playlist for the Fusion, which doesn't have but maybe 4 or 5 videos in it, since y'all will never see it again because somebody else has it that I'm no longer with. And there's one for the Ram. So everything that I've owned that's on this channel at the moment has a playlist. I know that the one that has the most views is the one that has the most videos, I think, is the Tahoe, and I think the Colorado is second. So yeah. So I hope everybody appreciates that, because it helps me. That way it makes it a lot easier, and you don't have to comb through all of my stuff to look for it. So there you go. They've got their own playlists. They're all labeled with the make, model, and year, so it's easy to find. So I hope y'all enjoy that. I don't know why it's taken me this long to do that, and I never thought about it, but I finally thought about it and was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I did it on the computer because it's a lot easier. So But the story I have about the Tahoe is I was coming home yesterday or Sunday, and I know that the Tahoe was purchased by somebody that lives around me, because like I've stated before, I think I have, that I've seen it a couple of times around where I live. So as I was coming home yesterday, there's a four-way stop. It's a red light near where I live, and I was thinking about the Tahoe for some reason, and all of a sudden I'm going straight and it's turning right, and it was coming towards me. So I turned around really quick to see where they were going, and luckily they were going to the store, the little grocery store in the town I live in. And I went and pulled up to them and asked them about it, and you know, they enjoy it, they like it. They asked me if I had engine work done to it, and I said no, not really. Why? And he asked if because he saw a bunch of gaskets were new. I did tell him about the exhaust, I mean the in the valve cover gaskets. I forgot to tell him about the oil pan gasket, but it's not really a big deal. I mean, I've added him on Facebook, so I can tell him, and he's got all the receipts. They were kind of amazed of all the receipts I gave them. I said, well, that's one way of being a vehicle owner and taking care of your shit and proving that you actually give a shit about the vehicle you own, is, you know, showing proof that you have everything on it that you say you do. But he likes it, he loves it. I mean, he went and financed it, which I wouldn't finance a vehicle that old, but I mean, I guess you got to do what you got to do. He did have a white one. I do remember seeing it. But he did tell me, unfortunately though, that it is going to need a transmission put in it. He's having trouble with second to third, which is a common 4L60 problem. It's either first or second to third that gives out on those. And he said that it might be something he's done, because he said he was leaving early one night, or leaving late one morning to go to work, and I guess he was hauling ass and beating on it, and it's not made for that. So it obviously didn't last. So I did tell him, I was like, well, I mean, honestly, it didn't give me any issues. I mean, I even drove it out of town last year and drove about 5 or 6 hours one way, and it did just fine. I drove the whole time we were out, and then drove the same trip back, and it did just perfectly fine. Had no issues. But yeah, so I've kept it around. I showed him the picture, because I asked him when I first saw him, I asked him if he liked it, and he said, yeah, why? I said, oh, well, because it was mine. And I showed him a picture that I had of it. I said, yeah. I said, I know everything about it. I know everything it's done. I said the lift was put on in my driveway, and everything else was done in my driveway. So, but I figured y'all want to hear that nice piece of info. Then he saw the Yukon. He likes the Yukon. So Tahoe's still technically around. It is in my life still, I guess, if you want to say that. He does live in the town I live in. So if I wanted to go look at it and drive it one more time, I'm sure he wouldn't mind. But yeah, so that's a good thing. And he was a nice guy. He was real nice about it. I didn't want to seem stalkerish, because I didn't want to follow him too far, because a lot of people, at least like me, I pay attention to that kind of stuff. So but yeah, so now I just need to find my truck, and then we'll really be fine, because I want to get my truck back. I want to buy it back. So because I'd be happy to trade my Yukon for that truck back. So if anybody knows where it is, anybody's seen it, and you know that it's mine, it's very easy to tell it's mine. Please let me know. I do want that truck back. I will trade them a Yukon for it with no questions asked. I will hand them title for title. So if y'all can find it, please let me know. But anyways, it was a 2014 Ram 1500 Sport. It had Go Rhino rear bumper on it, had tinted windows, tinted windshield, had 35s on it. Can't miss it. I have plenty of videos about it. So if somebody can find it, I will give you a finder's fee. If you can find it, and we do make a deal. I do want the truck back. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, so this is the first video on the GoPro. I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you later.